Hello and welcome to our help video on how to do an advanced search here at Newspaper Archive. The first thing that you're going to want to do is make sure you are logged in, and you know that by checking the upper right hand corner here. And if you see your name, then you are logged in. Along the top, we have different links that take you to different parts of our site, and we're going to do the search for an advanced search. Now, when you're in advanced search, these sections here, these are all like filters that you can use to do different types of searches. You can put in a person's first and middle name, a last name. A lot of times I don't search like that. If I'm looking for an ancestor, I'll actually put my search here in the keywords instead of the first and last name sections. So what can you do with keywords? There's a lot that you can do with keywords. We have several rules for different ones that you can choose from when you're searching, and you can kind of stack these on top of each other. So let me give you an example. The first one, though, is the one that I like to do if I want to put in my ancestor's name. The rule I choose for this is the exact phrase search. So what it's going to do is it's going to look for instances of Warder Hamilton, that exact phrase in our newspaper collection. So that's one that I use a lot. And you can see when I started to type that in, I got another box if I wanted to add another rule to it. So let me show you how I would do that. I'm going to take this out and I'm going to say, let's do a search for Titanic. And I'm going to do an exact phrase. So I want to know every instance of the use of Titanic in the newspaper collection at Newspaper Archive. But let's say that I want to make sure that I don't get anything that has anything to do with the movie. So I can type in movie here, and then I can choose the rule without the word. So that means it's going to look for every instance of the word Titanic, but it's going to find it when movie is not part of that particular page. So that's an example of how to use without the words. The other two choices with at least one of these. So if I were to do, let's try Titanic sinks again. And if I put that as my phrase it's looking for, it's going to look for at least one of those. So this one is a little bit trickier when you're doing your search because it's only going to look for one of those words in essence. So that might be, depending on what you're searching for, that might be a practical use case for you. The last one is with all of the words. So I'm going to put in, let's say Titanic again and sinks, and let's do Carpathia. That was the ship that picked up the survivors. So this is going to look for all of these words on a newspaper page. They don't have to be together, but they're going to look for those in every single one of those words on a page. So that's how you can use keywords. And again, you can kind of stack your filters together and use them. So for instance, I'm going to go back and do one for my great-great-great-grandfather, and I'm going to choose exact phrase. So I'm looking for him. I'm not going to choose any other type of keyword search here, but I can narrow by location. So I can do country, I could do state. So if I wanted to choose my state, I can do a city. And I can also choose a publication. So if I want to do a certain publication, I can choose a particular one that I'm looking for, but I don't have to choose everything in this category. I could just choose United States if I wanted to. And then the other option that you can do is a narrow by date. Narrow by date, you get several different options as well, different rules that you can choose from. You can do by year. So if you wanted to search for everything within a 1 year period of time, you can do that. You can see you can put in your year and the range by a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. I typically just do leave it at just that year. You can do an exact date. So if you know an exact date that you want to search for, you can do that. I would be very careful with this one because if you put in an exact date for this one can, you're limiting your search results on that one, but you can do exact date. You can also do between. So a lot of times on the between one, I'll do between certain years. You don't have to necessarily fill out the month and date totally to get that, but you can be very specific in your between search. You can do a before a certain year. And then you can also do after a certain year. So those are the many different types of filters that you have available when you're doing an advanced search here at Newspaper Archive. Good luck in your search.